how we win is really recognize the incredible divine leg up superpower perspective that it is to be transgender. Hello, my name is Ashton. If you've never come to my channel, I am transgender. I've been transitioning for about 5.5 years, going on 6 years. Got my top surgery May 2013. Been on and off testosterone since June 2012. I am studying right now to get my yoga certification. I am focusing primarily on hatha, and in addition to that, trauma-sensitive yoga. So this channel, I talk about the physical changes, but I also talk about the emotional, spiritual, intellectual changes and things that really, I want you to be happy after, before, during this whole process. And we get caught up on the physical changes, and we think that when we get the physical changes, then we're going to be happy. But there is so much more to uncover and so much more to make your life thrive. And what keeps coming up to me in my brain, the thoughts that keep coming up that really are something I need to share, that if I could only make one video for the rest of my life and talking about my trans experience, and this was the last video I ever made on this channel, this is what I would say. The way we win as trans people, the way we win, we have to recognize that society, the people that don't accept us, they are living in fear. They are living in a fear-based narrative that they're projecting on us, on trans people. Their initial reaction is, hey, I don't understand that. And they act out in fear, and they subconsciously program us to hate our bodies, to make us feel like we're born in the wrong body. And in reality, we are incredible, beautiful, wonderful beings from an infinite source of love and compassion, just like them. And there is a quote by Yogi Bhajan, and he's a yogi, and he studies Kundalini yoga and brought that to the West in like the 60s and 70s. And he said, if you can't see God in all, you can't see God at all. If you can't see God in us as people who don't accept transgender people, you can't see God at all. You can't see the universe. Call it love, call it the universe, whatever. And the way we win is recognizing our own divinity as trans people, that we are not separate from this creative force of beautiful expression, and we're just spiritual beings having a temporary human experience. And if they can't recognize that in us, they can't recognize that in themselves, and they think that there's this God above us, this judgmental God that's this old man in the sky that's telling us we're born in this body, we have to stay in this body. And they program us with so much toxic narratives about who we are, and they try to disconnect us from our body, and we try to explain to them, you know, for lack of a better term, that we're born in the wrong body or something like that. And it's that in itself, no, we are not born in the wrong body. We are born in bodies, trans bodies, bodies to change, bodies to transform. And in other cultures around the world, they uplift and view trans people as a beautiful expression of this creative force, of the ability to shed some light on an alternative perspective. I mean, the world as it is, they're like, especially in Western cultures, they're like, oh, men are born from Mars and women are from Venus, and oh, men will never understand women, and women can never understand men, and everything like that. And that's just so much of the like predominant culture is so oh, the two like genders will never understand each other, and they're like begging to understand the other gender. And it's like, trans people are the answer to your prayers in that sense. We can shed light on the perspective of what it's like to be socialized and you know, been told and formed to present in a certain way. For me, I presented female, feminine, whatever, based on society's expectations of me for the first like 2 decades of my life, and I gained a ton of insight on what it's like to walk around the world and be viewed as a woman. I know what it's like in the sense that when I'm walking down the sidewalk and it's dark at night and I'm in my city and I'm downtown and stuff like that, I will purposely, if there's a woman that's walking here or whatever, I'll walk up on the grass. Just to give them space, because I know what that's like, and I'm just like creating space for them, and say, and maybe just looks like I'm, maybe being polite and giving them some, and they don't even know. It's like, it's from my own experience that like I'm gonna go out of my way as somebody that's now embodying society's expectations of a man, in some sense, based on my presentation now, that it's made me more conscious as a man, as somebody who now, for whatever way, embodies the role of a man in society. And I have this profound understanding. And so to go back to the beginning of this video of how we win is really recognize the incredible divine leg up superpower perspective that it is to be transgender, and that society that doesn't understand, are based in these fear-based narratives, and they want us to hate ourselves. They want us to commit suicide. They want us to not see us as like this divine spiritual experience in this human temporary body of like learning about and cultivating a sense of compassion and this superpower of empathy for different expressions of gender, and frankly to transcend this idea that we are our bodies. We are not our bodies. We are spirits in a body. We have a body. Our bodies are our home for this temporary little experience. We are so much more than our bodies. We are an infinite, powerful consciousness of love and expression and awareness that just extend. I'm sending love to everybody. It's infinite. The love will go out all over the world, so I'm sending it out. But we are more. I'm in a quantum physical level. We are not separate from each other. I am not separate from this. You are not separate from me. And how we win as trans people, how we win, how we fight transphobia, is recognizing that in ourselves and doing whatever we can to help people that don't understand us recognize that in themselves. And when people are transphobic, we have to show up with love for them and recognize how much pain you have to be in to not understand how incredible it is for a trans person, to show up and express themselves fully. You must be in so much pain internally to question and be so rigid and so black and white and like, just, you're born this way, you gotta stay this way, and it's a reflection of so many other aspects of their life. If they don't understand trans people, and they can't see divinity in trans people, and they can't see the incredible, powerful, cosmic force of all the galaxies in existence in trans people, they can't see it in themselves. And how painful would that be? I mean, look at the joy that I'm expressing as a trans person who recognizes that. Like, just as a person who recognizes that, I recognize the divinity in myself, and I recognize it in every person that walks down the street. And if you can't see God in all, you can't see God at all. I see God in all. I see God in you as a trans person. And if the word God doesn't resonate with you and you just want to call it love or the universe, whatever, that's how it's going to be on this channel. I get it. But if you can't see that powerful force, like, that's why I send them so much love. If someone just doesn't get me and just doesn't understand me, and they can't see it in themselves, they can't see it in themselves. They can't see the loving, beautiful, creative, just awesome force in themselves, and I gotta just give them so much love. I mean, you gotta be in so much pain. It's painful to not. It's painful. I mean, I think about the process of what it was like for me to think about like 3 or so years ago and what it motivates me to make more videos like this on my channel is like I went through a really painful period of like not recognizing that in myself and thinking that God was separate from me, or thinking that I'm like somehow wrong or going to hell or whatever because I have to like express myself in a different way. But like fully expressing yourself and showing up for that little voice in your head that says you're meant to do more, you're meant to show up with more, you're meant to be more in this world, and it's from your heart space. Like, it's incredible to have that opportunity as a trans person to be pushed to my limit to figure that out, to figure other stuff out. And you know, people that have never gone through hard things in their lives, they haven't had the opportunity to see that, and they maybe have, I don't know. Anyway, another point I want to make is that, you know, we're not our thoughts. We're not the stories that they want us to believe about ourselves, that we're somehow wrong or whatever. We really win. We win. This trans rights, by reclaiming our individual power, they want us to feel disempowered. They want us to adopt narratives that we are less than. We have to consciously pick new narratives for ourselves. There's a lot of research in a lot of things being proven now in the spiritual community and in quantum physics and all this, that like we're consciously creating our reality with the universe. The thoughts that we put out, we're not our thoughts, and we actually have a lot more control over the thoughts that we think. And maybe not the thoughts that pop into our head, but we have a ability to be conscious of how we respond to those thoughts and change the narratives about ourselves, and watch how it changes the reality that we experience unfold. I've really called into my life, manifested into my life some beautiful things. Some really beautiful things, because I've gotten really deliberate about the vision that I hold for my life. And they want us to be miserable as trans people. They don't want us to be fulfilled and live from a place of, you know, an abundant, limitless universe where we can have and be anything we want in this entire world. But we really can. We can do and experience and be whoever we want in this world. And on some level, it scares them. You know, the trans people are really like claiming that, and that they can be anything they want in this world. And it scares them, and so they try to shut us down, but we actually have to reclaim that and know that we can really, really, really create the world that we want to see. We really have that power with the thoughts that we think and the thoughts that we choose. And I'm going to talk more about this in other videos. I don't know why this video is getting so long, but I'm going to talk more about creating a fulfilled, abundant life and reprogramming the narratives. Like, there's such specific narratives that transgender people are told, that we have to live in poverty, that we have to live in depression, that we have to live in anxiety, that we have to live separated from our bodies and separated from a spiritual truth and all of that. And I am going to shatter that, throw it out the window. I don't care. We're going to create beautiful individual realities of whatever we want to experience in this entire life, and I'm going to give you tools how to manifest the life on a physical, emotional, spiritual, intellectual level. Because how we win is recognizing that we are God in consciousness in a human body, and we can affect the world and affect what we bring into our lives very deliberately. Anyway, this video, whatever. Just follow me on Instagram if you want to connect more. It's Ashton James Colby, and I'll leave everything below. Until next time, stay awesome, have a beautiful rest of the day, and let me know if you've had any experience with the idea of manifestation, with spirituality, with being a trans person and wanting to live an abundant, beautiful, creative life, and what that looks like for you, because how we win is recognizing we're just as deserving to live an incredible life on an emotional, relationship, spiritual, financial, educational level, whatever we want to call into the world. We deserve that just as much as them, as trans people. That's how we really win. That's the whole point of this video. Okay, I love you. Stay awesome.